We have all been there. You walk out to your garden, excited to check on your tomato plants, only to find one that looks absolutely miserable. It is tall, spindly, and so thin it looks like a stiff breeze could snap it in half. The lower leaves are taking on a sickly yellow hue, curling inward as if they are shrinking away from the world. Most gardeners look at a plant like this and assume it is a lost cause. They pull it out, throw it in the compost bin, and head to the local nursery to buy a replacement. But most gardeners do not know this. That struggling, leggy plant is not dead. It is simply crying out for help. With the right understanding of what is happening beneath the soil, you can completely turn its fate around. Today, we are going to dive deep into the science of plant resuscitation, uncovering the exact steps to transform a weak, stunted tomato plant into a backyard powerhouse loaded with heavy clusters of juicy, vibrant fruit. When you look at a tomato plant with a tall, slender stem, sparse foliage, and unusually long gaps between the leaves, what botanists call long internodes, you are looking at a clear cry for help. This condition, often referred to as etiolation, happens when a plant is desperately searching for something it cannot find. Sometimes it is searching for sunlight, stretching its body upward in a frantic race to reach the light. But just as often, this leggy growth is a sign of a weak, underdeveloped root system or a severe lack of essential nutrients in the soil. Without a strong root network, the plant cannot draw up the structural building blocks it needs to build a thick, sturdy main stem. Instead, it puts all its energy into growing taller, hoping to find better conditions higher up, leaving its lower half weak, fragile, and highly susceptible to disease. If you look closer at the lower leaves of a struggling tomato, you will often notice them turning yellow, starting at the edges and moving inward, sometimes accompanied by a distinct upward or downward curl. This is not random damage. It is a highly specific diagnostic map. When the lower leaves yellow while the veins remain green, or when the leaf tips look burnt, the plant is likely suffering from a potassium or magnesium deficiency. Potassium is the engine of a plant's circulatory system. It regulates water pressure, controls the opening and closing of the stomata on the leaves, and is absolutely critical for transport of sugars and starches. Magnesium, on the other hand, is the central atom in the chlorophyll molecule. Without it, the plant cannot perform photosynthesis efficiently, leading to that characteristic yellowing. Furthermore, inconsistent soil moisture can cause the roots to temporarily shut down, preventing them from absorbing these vital elements even if they are present in the soil. But here is where the real secret begins. Before you despair, look at the very top of your struggling plant, the growing tip, or the apical meristem. Is it still green? Is it still trying to push out new tiny leaves? Are there still a few small, brave yellow blossoms clinging to the upper branches? If the answer is yes, then your plant has a strong will to live. It is telling you that its core vascular system is still functioning. It has not given up, which means you should not give up either. The plant is simply in a state of nutrient lockout or starvation. When the soil lacks organic matter, the microscopic ecosystem surrounding the roots, the soil food web, collapses. Without active soil microbes to break down minerals into a water-soluble form, the roots become highly inefficient. They starve in a desert of unavailable nutrients. To save it, we do not need synthetic chemical fertilizers that provide a temporary stressful spike in growth. We need to rebuild the soil from the ground up, restoring the natural relationship between the roots and the microbial community. Before we can introduce new nutrients to the soil, we must perform a crucial step that many backyard gardeners completely skip. We need to prune the plant. It might seem counterintuitive to cut leaves off an already weak plant, but this is actually an act of mercy that redirects the plant's vital energy. Those lower, yellowing, curled leaves are no longer contributing to the plant's energy production through photosynthesis. In fact, they have become sinks, parasitic structures that drain precious sugars and moisture away from the healthy growing tip and the developing blossoms. By using clean, sterilized pruning shears to gently snip away these weak, lower branches and older leaves, we allow the plant to stop wasting its energy on dying tissue. Instead, the plant can focus 100% of its internal resources on growing new, healthy roots and strengthening its main stem. Once the plant is pruned, we must turn our attention directly to the soil. To revive the root zone, We are going to create a powerful, slow-release organic amendment using two everyday household ingredients that most people throw straight into the trash: coffee grounds and eggshells. This combination is a time-tested secret passed down through generations of master gardeners, and the science behind why it works is beautiful. Coffee grounds are rich in nitrogen, which is the primary driver of leafy, green growth. But more importantly, they are packed with organic matter that improves the physical structure of the soil. When mixed into the earth, coffee grounds help break up heavy clay, creating a loose, friable texture that allows delicate tomato roots to expand, breathe, and access oxygen. However, here is a professional tip. You must be careful with the quantity. Using too much can make the soil overly acidic and temporarily lock up other nutrients. For a single tomato plant, you only want to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of used coffee grounds. This precise amount provides all the structural and microbial benefits without disrupting the delicate pH balance of your soil. Now let us talk about eggshells. Eggshells are nature's perfect source of calcium carbonate. Calcium is the structural glue of the plant world. It strengthens cell walls, ensuring that the plant can grow a thick, sturdy stem capable of supporting heavy fruit. In tomatoes, a lack of calcium leads to one of the most heartbreaking sights in the garden: blossom end rot, where the bottom of your beautiful tomatoes turns black, leathery, and rotten. But simply tossing whole eggshells around your plant will do absolutely nothing. The roots cannot absorb a solid piece of shell. What happened next in my gardening journey was a game changer. I learned that you must clean the eggshells thoroughly to remove any residual albumin, dry them completely, and then crush them into an incredibly fine powder. The finer the powder, the faster the soil microbes can break it down, making the calcium bioavailable to the plant's roots. For our recovery mix, we will use the finely crushed powder of 1 to 2 eggshells. Once you have your coffee grounds and eggshell powder, mix them together thoroughly in a small bowl. This ensures that when you apply them, the nitrogen and calcium are distributed evenly. Now here is the step many people skip. Do not dump this mixture directly against the stem of the plant. The stem of a tomato is sensitive. Direct contact with decomposing organic matter can trap moisture against the bark, leading to fungal rot or collar rot. Instead, spread your mixture in a neat ring about 5 to 10 centimeters away from the base of the plant. This places the nutrients directly over the active drip line of the roots, where the young, hungry feeder roots are searching for food. After spreading the mixture, take a small hand fork and gently loosen the top layer of soil, working the coffee grounds and eggshell powder just a few centimeters deep. This physical integration allows the organic materials to interact immediately with the soil's moisture and native microbial community. To lock in this goodness, apply a thin layer of natural mulch, such as straw or shredded leaves, over the area. This mulch acts as a protective blanket, maintaining consistent soil moisture, protecting the delicate surface roots from the baking heat of the sun, and preventing the soil from drying out too quickly. Finally, water the area gently to kickstart the decomposition process, allowing those natural nutrients to begin their slow, steady journey down into the root zone. While our coffee ground and eggshell mixture works slowly in the soil, providing a steady release of nitrogen and calcium over the coming weeks, our struggling tomato plant needs an immediate, easily absorbable boost of energy to kickstart its recovery. This is where we introduce a liquid organic solution that acts like an intravenous nutrient drip for plants. To create this liquid gold, we are going to harness the power of a ripe banana and a spoonful of molasses. Most gardeners know that bananas are rich in potassium, but they do not realize that the peel and the flesh contain an entire spectrum of essential micronutrients, including magnesium, sulfur, sodium, and silica. These trace minerals are vital for rebuilding the plant's cellular structure and enhancing its natural defense systems against pests and diseases. To prepare this potent elixir, start with a whole, ripe banana that has been thoroughly washed to remove any potential surface contaminants. Do not throw away the peel. We are going to use the entire fruit. Using a sharp knife, chop both the peel and the sweet flesh into very small, bite-sized pieces. Chopping the banana increases its surface area dramatically, which will allow the water to extract the nutrients much more rapidly during the soaking phase. Place all of these chopped pieces into a clean, wide-mouth glass jar. This glass jar will serve as our mini fermentation chamber, where we will unlock the raw biological potential of the fruit. Next, pour about 1 liter of clean, room temperature water over the chopped bananas. It is best to use dechlorinated water, such as rainwater or tap water, that has sat out for 24 hours, as chlorine can inhibit the beneficial microbes we want to encourage. Now we add the secret catalyst that supercharges this entire process: 1 teaspoon of unsulfured molasses. Molasses is not just a sweetener, it is a dense, complex source of natural carbohydrates, iron, and trace minerals. When introduced to the water, the simple and complex sugars in the molasses act as an immediate, high-energy food source for the naturally occurring beneficial bacteria and fungi present on the banana peel and in the environment. This sugar rush triggers a rapid microbial explosion. As these microbes feed and multiply, they secrete enzymes that break down the cellular walls of the banana, releasing the locked-up potassium, magnesium, and trace elements directly into the liquid. Stir the mixture thoroughly until the molasses is completely dissolved and distributed throughout the water. Now cover the jar loosely and let it sit in a warm, dark place to soak for 12 to 24 hours. This is a critical window. You want to let the nutrients dissolve naturally, but you must not let it soak for too long. If you leave it for several days, the mixture will cross the line from a beneficial aerobic extraction into an anaerobic fermentation. This will create strong, foul odors, lower the pH to highly acidic levels, and potentially breed harmful pathogens. A short, controlled soak of 12 to 24 hours is the perfect sweet spot, yielding a clean, sweet-smelling, nutrient-rich tea that is incredibly stable and safe for your plants. After the soaking period is complete, the water in your jar will have transformed into a rich, amber-colored liquid packed with dissolved minerals and active microbial life. The next step is to strain out the solid banana pieces using a fine mesh strainer, leaving you with a clean, concentrated liquid extract. But here is the step that separates the amateurs from the experts. You must never apply this concentrated solution directly to your plants. Because of the high sugar content from the molasses and the concentrated mineral salts from the banana, applying it raw can cause osmotic shock to the delicate root hairs, actually drawing moisture out of the roots instead of feeding them. It can also create a sticky buildup in the soil that attracts unwanted pests like ants or fruit flies. To avoid this, we must dilute our concentrated extract. The golden ratio for this organic tea is 1 part concentrate to 3 parts clean, room temperature water. To make this easy to measure, take about 200 milliliters of your concentrated banana molasses solution and mix it with approximately 700 milliliters of clean water. Stir the mixture thoroughly to ensure that the concentrated extract is completely and evenly distributed. This dilution process is incredibly important because it allows the plant's root system to absorb the nutrients gently and gradually, without shocking the soil's delicate microbial balance. It also ensures that the beneficial bacteria we have cultivated can spread evenly throughout the root zone, colonizing the soil and establishing a symbiotic relationship with the plant. Now it is time to apply this liquid gold to our recovering tomato. Pour about 300 to 500 milliliters of the diluted solution directly onto the soil around the root zone of the plant. Avoid splashing the liquid onto the leaves, as the natural sugars can create a sticky residue that might attract fungal spores or pests to the foliage. This liquid feed should be applied once every 7 to 10 days during the active recovery phase. What happened next in my garden when I first used this method absolutely blew me away, and it will do the same for you. The results became visible just days later. Within the first 48 hours, the microbial activity in the soil will surge, breaking down the coffee grounds and eggshells we applied earlier. By day 7, you will notice a dramatic shift in the color of the upper foliage. Those pale yellowing leaves will begin to deepen into a rich, vibrant forest green as chlorophyll production kicks into overdrive. By the second week, the magic really begins to show on the main stem. It will start to thicken, losing its fragile, bendy appearance and developing a sturdy, hairy texture. Those tiny dormant blossoms that looked like they were going to drop off will suddenly swell, open wide, and begin to set fruit naturally, anchored by a strong, healthy root system that can easily support their weight. Gardening is not about relying on quick-fix chemical sprays that mask underlying problems while destroying the health of your soil. It is about taking the time to observe your plants, understanding their biological needs, and working in harmony with nature to provide the right organic support. By using these simple kitchen scrap remedies, you are not just saving a single tomato plant, you are building a living, thriving soil ecosystem that will reward you with an abundance of delicious, homegrown food for seasons to come. If you found these practical, nature-first gardening techniques helpful, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow gardeners. Drop a comment below to let me know if you have ever tried using coffee grounds, eggshells, or banana tea in your garden, and tell me how your plants responded. Let us grow together, learn from the earth, and turn every struggling plant into a masterpiece of natural abundance. Until next time, happy gardening.